Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our highlights program of Super Bowl 25 here in Tampa Bay. It was the New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills, two teams from New York State. So we knew it would be an Eastern champion, but we didn't know if it would be the AFC or the NFC. The last time the Super Bowl was played here in Tampa, it was the Washington Redskins versus the Los Angeles Raiders. The Raiders won that one in '84, but that was the last time an AFC team won the Super Bowl. After the Bills punted away their first possession of the game, the Giants drove downfield, and last week's hero Matt Barr kicked this 28-yard field goal. 3-0 New York. Buffalo then came back with a 61-yard bomb from Jim Kelly to the veteran wide receiver, James Lofton. But the Giants' defense held them, and Scott Millward pulled it all level at 3 apiece with this 23-yarder. The Giants punted on their next possession. We pick up the action with the Bills at their own 20. They have a first down and 10. Our match commentators are Dan Deerdorf, Frank Gifford, and Al Michaels.
Kelly hands it to Thomas. Thurman picks up 3, gets to the 23, 2nd and 7. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle.
Keep in mind, this is not a no-huddle offense. This is a hurry-up offense. This is unlike what the Cincinnati Bengals do, where they just huddle close to the line of scrimmage. The intent of this offense is to run plays and run them quickly.
The equivalent of a basketball fast break. And there's a first down as Andre Reed takes it to the 34 for a gain of 11. He's hit by Thompson and Collins. First down.
But even in this no-huddle offense, you're trying to do much the same, and that is keep the same players on the field. Try and get your big man against their little man, your fast man against their slow man, and they've been very successful.
That was the play clock you saw on first down. The catch is made up at about the 37-yard line by Andre Reed. Stopped by Thompson. And we are under a minute now to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, again, a good look at that play clock. The Giants will take that thing down inside 10 seconds, inside 5 seconds. The Bills snapped it with 30 seconds left.
And before we have the snap on 2nd and 6, it is Taylor who comes across along with his outside linebacker mate, Carl Banks.
Well, I think the left guard moved. I think Jim Richer might have jumped early here.
Requires 3 officials to sort this one out.
There's Richer, the former Outland Trophy winner from North Carolina State.
False start prior to the snap. 51 offense. Still second down.
Here's Richer right here, the left guard. Watch him back up even though he's in a 2-point stance. Yeah, you see the movement. I mean, that's way ahead. In fact, he's so far ahead of it, can't hold the center, doesn't even bother to snap the ball.
And he saw Pepper Johnson coming on the blitz. His eyes got big, and he settled back to pick up the block and got the flag.
2nd and 11 now. Bills at the 33. Game time 3-3 with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. And over the middle, the catch is made by Reed.
Whoa!
Lived there all season. He's hit hard, but he gets up, and it's a first down for Buffalo. Mark Collins was the guy who whacked him. 20-yard pickup.
Now credit that offensive line of the Bills. Great pickup on a blitz by the Giants. Obviously, that's going to put you in man-for-man coverage, and that's a tough situation against Reed. But good blocking, good pickup of the blitz by the Bills.
And with 2 seconds to go in the quarter, Thurman Thomas finds some room, takes it to the 40, and the second period will begin with a 2nd and 3. Three as we start the second quarter. It's 2nd down and 4 from the 41-yard line. Jim Kelly dumps it off to Thurman Thomas. Nice move by Thomas to pick up the first down and then wrestled to the ground by Carl Banks inside the 30. And Myron Guyton is shaken up.
Thomas,
just for a moment.
The checkoff man, as he has been so many times this year.
Boy, and what a move he put on Greg Jackson.
Thomas is slow getting up.
Thurman Thomas just so dangerous in the open field. Not flashy moves. They are not, you know, that typical show them the leg and take it away. Not an O.J. Simpson type of runner. Much more compact than that. But yet you'll still see people miss him and miss him cleanly. I mean, miss him without doing much but grazing an arm. Look how badly he made Jackson miss. And then it's Carl Banks who really picks him up off the ground, and you see Guyton go down. Tough to tell what happened to Myron.
Sight of Thomas going off the field would put a lump in any Buffalo fan's throat. He's out for the moment. Kenneth Davis is in, and it's Davis who gets it on first down and picks up 3. Davis, 5'10", 209-pounder in his 5th year out of TCU. Doesn't play that much, normally just to give Thomas a breather. First quarter offense in postseason against Miami. They scored 13 points, 164 in terms of yardage, blew the Raiders out. And today, most of the yardage came on that pass to Lofton. Here's Kelly, complete to Reed, and Reed already having a big night. With the game barely more than a quarter old, has a first down at the 16-yard line. Andre Reed has already caught 6 passes.
Reed takes it all the way across the field, underneath the zone, and the Giants, well, they'll give you that. You complete a lot of passes against them. You do not get many yards against them, but if you keep pecking away, you're going to keep moving the football.
And breathe easier, Buffalo. Thomas is back in the game, and he gets the ball, and he picks up 2, taking it to the 14-yard line.
For those of you that haven't followed the Bills all that much, if you're wondering how do they get the play in from the sidelines to quarterback Jim Kelly so quickly, the answer is they don't. Jim Kelly is calling his own plays and very happy to do so. A quarterback's dream, and he's running his own show.
2nd and 7, tremendous protection. McKellar makes the catch. McKellar takes it to the 8, and the flag is down. Back at the 20-yard line.
Thrown by the referee. That's normally, and we're going to get a roughing the passer call. It's his responsibility is to watch the right tackle and to watch the quarterback. He's either going to call a hold on the right tackle when the referee throws the flag, or it's going to be some sort of a personal foul. And that's what we have.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, extra steps, number 70 defense. First down.
Leonard Marshall.
The ball is gone. Leonard's got to pull up on that. That'll get a flag every time, and it should.
That's flagrant. That's flagrant. And of course, those of you in San Francisco know that it was a clean and legitimate shot by Leonard Marshall that separated Joe Montana from the ball and broke Joe's finger and knocked him out of the game.
First and goal now as they shift out of the eye. Send McKellar in motion. Give it to Mueller. The big fullback barrels forward. And is stopped just short of the goal line by Lawrence Taylor. Mueller has become one of the forgotten men this year. Doesn't carry the ball that often. Big blocking fullback, but they like to use him when they get down close.
A major league collision between this guy, Lawrence Taylor. He's right in it, not blocked, and he hits Mueller at the 2, and Mueller had enough momentum to carry Lawrence Taylor backwards and ended up down inside the 1-yard line. Almost got it in. But that play was read and diagnosed perfectly by Lawrence Taylor.
They may be looking at the play in terms of crossing the plane of the goal line. Let's take a look again. There's a stoppage here from the officials.
And technically, they can look at it if they choose to see where to spot the ball.
And they have to stop it because the Bills using the no-huddle offense, they don't give them really time enough to look at the play before they're up there ready to run another play.
Mueller was close to getting that ball in the end zone, but it looked like an accurate spot.
Short of the goal line, 2nd down.
Yep. They confirmed that it was an accurate spot by the officiating crew.
12:42 to go. First half, game tied 3-3. Bills terrific once they get inside the opponent's 5-yard line. Near perfect. Don Smith and Mueller are the running backs, and Donnie Smith takes it into the end zone.
Oh, and Jamie Mueller buried a Giant. And Donnie Smith came right off his fanny into the end zone.
Well, it was Gary Reasons, Frank, the linebacker, that took on Mueller. Reasons has no choice but to sell out in the backfield, and he's obliterated by Mueller. Two of the finest blocking fullbacks in the league are in this game. Jamie Mueller for the Bills, Maurice Carthon for the New York Giants.
Scott Norwood for the extra point. Frank Wright puts it down. And Don Smith knows his way into the end zone in Tampa. He used to play with the Bucks. They left him unprotected, picked up by Buffalo in Plan B.
So the Bills score the first touchdown of Super Bowl 25. Both teams then punted on their next possession. Rick Tooten's punt forced the Giants to start at their own 6-yard line.
Carthen and Anderson behind him. Hostetler off the fake. Hits O.J. for a gain of about 7 to the 13. You know, I mentioned, guys, that the Giants didn't want to be down 17-3. No team, of course, does. But if the Giants were to fall behind by 2 touchdowns with their offense, they'd have to score, let's face it, at least 17 to win the game and hold Buffalo without another point.
And those are point totals that just haven't been coming easy to the New York Giants, Al. I mean, not to mention the fact that at the pace that they move offensively, it would take them a half to score that long if they scored every possession.
2nd and 3. Flag. Anderson, who's close to a first down, pending the penalty. Bentley in on the tackle.
And so frequently that is the holding call, that flag right in the middle of the line.
I think Bart Oates, he was at the middle of that thing. If you're guilty by how close the flag lands to you.
Holding. Number 65 offense. Still 2nd down.
Bart Oates passed the bar this July.
Did you ever try to kick that flag, Dan, when it hovered around your ankles?
No, the worst, some of those umpires were downright mean, and they would throw it right at you. And one of the guys one time threw it and hit Dobler right in the eye. It stuck in his face mask, and he was trying to pull that yellow flag out of his helmet. That's when everybody knows who it is.
2nd and 10 from the 6-yard line. Hostetler under heat, sacked for the safety. Bruce Smith.
Hostetler lost it, pulling away from the center. Whether he was stepped on or just tripped, he might have tripped over his.
I think he tripped over Otis. I think he tripped over Otis Anderson.
Otis was getting set to pick up the blitz and did not step up, and Hostetler collided with him, and it was fortunate for the Giants it was not 6 instead of 2. Now watch 24, Anderson.
You can see the right foot of Hostetler connecting with the right foot of Otis Anderson. Then watch this. Watch Bruce Smith here from the left grab for the ball. He's got Hostetler's wrist. Jeff senses it. Look at him pull the ball into his chest. The Giants are very fortunate to escape, only losing 2 points to the Bills. That could have been a touchdown.
Following that safety, there were 3 punts. We pick up the action with New York in possession. They have a 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
Hostetler on a roll, hits Bavaro. He's banged down by Shane Conlon after a gain of about 6. Well, that was such a big play last week by Bavaro in that championship game in San Francisco. So many plays talked about, and Barr, of course, and Hostetler and the rest. But what about that 19-yard pass to Bavaro to set up the Barr field goal at the end?
Hostetler chased out of the pocket. That's what he does so well. And then coming up with another one to Baker to set up that game-winning field goal. But they're struggling at the moment.
2nd and 4 from the 19-yard line. Conlon had to come out, and Bailey spells him, and Anderson exploits a hole, takes it to the 36. The kind of charge the Giants are looking for, getting them out of a hole here. 1st down up at the 36-yard line.
Now that's the kind of movement that a lot of people weren't sure that Otis Anderson still was capable of at this age. He wants to run off left guard. He sees nothing. He's going to jump all the way back around Riesenberg, the right tackle. And of course, Mark Kelso makes a mistake here. He comes in and takes on Otis Anderson a little too high. I mean, that is just an excellent piece of running by O.J. Anderson.
Conlon back in for Buffalo. 1st down, 37, 2:20 half. Hostetler pressured by Smith. Throws, and open is Ingram along the sidelines. 1st down. And Smith is there over the fallen Hostetler, but Jeff once again gets up.
Ingram with a good move. He made a sideline pattern out of it. Hostetler kind of looked him downfield. Here he is. He takes another tremendous shot from Smith, but he delivers the ball to the outside and beats Nate Odom. Smith coming slashing down again on Hostetler. Just powering through Jumbo Elliott. Gets to him just as he releases the ball.
2:05 remaining in the half. Ingram is in motion. And the Giants do get the play off before the 2-minute warning as Meggett takes it inside the 30 to the 25 where Leonard Smith makes the tackle. Norm and Dolly Hostetler. They've seen a few football games in their time. Jeff Hostetler's brothers, Ron, Doug, and Todd all played football at Penn State. Their daughter-in-law is the daughter of West Virginia coach Don Neyland. They're looking on as their son has a first down at the 25-yard line and retreats to throw, and then Carthen can't handle it. Had to stretch for it, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 of the 25 with 1:50 left on the clock and 2 timeouts remaining for New York.
Maurice Carthen, as good a runner and blocker as he is, you do not necessarily want him handling the football. If you watched the 49er game last week, dropping the certain touchdown in the end zone, mishandling another one, but he brings much more than that to this team. One of the best blocking backs in the league.
I think the reason he dropped it last week is Meggett threw it, right? Maybe he was considering the source.
Meggett should have thrown that one. That ball was way high.
2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line. Smith is taken out of the play, and he comes right back to Carthen for a 4-yard gain to the 21. Shane Conlon makes the stop. Clock keeps rolling. 1:38 left. Going to be 3rd and about 7.
Well, this is where the Giants so many times are prone to call a bootleg with Jeff Hostetler. Cornelius Bennett told us that anytime that bootleg comes, he expects it to come his way, away from Bruce Smith.
3rd and 7. Cross in motion. Hostetler to throw. Open man at the 15-yard line is Cross, and he has enough for the first down after he gets up, moves forward. Odoms makes the tackle, and they'll move the chains.
Cross was just let free off the line of scrimmage. No backer with him, and he had just about lost it when he dove for the ball, and there wasn't any bill close enough to keep him from spinning and making certain of the first down.
Yeah, Hostetler has just been off in throwing the ball. That might have been a touchdown if he threw it and led Cross.
39 seconds and 1 timeout. Hostetler has it batted down. Cornelius Bennett leaping up and volleyballing it to the turf.
But again, Hostetler is rolling the way the Bills are expecting it. They are expecting Hostetler to roll towards Bennett away from Bruce Smith. And Bennett sees this right off the bat, moves, look at it, look at the angle he's taking, and times his leap perfectly.
When I say volleyball, I mean spike it.
Right.
And that angle that you saw Bennett take comes from looking at a lot of tape, a lot of films, and that was a very good move on his part. He took the complete roll away from Hostetler, and then, being the great athlete he is, was able to get up and bat it down.
They're going to have to roll the other direction towards Smith a couple times at least.
2nd and 10. Pressure on Hostetler, but he throws too low. Intended for Stephen Baker, who went to the turf, but the pass skipped to him. 3rd down.
And that's a touchdown if it's a good throw.
He was open. Baker was open for a moment. Hostetler was late getting there to begin with, and then tried to squeeze it in. The coverage was there with Mark Kelso.
That's the Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator, works on it. The perfect coverage for the pass route called. It's just the ball severely underthrown. Kelso is way behind Baker. No chance to prevent a touchdown with a good throw.
There's the brain trust. Ron Earhart, far right for you.
Offensive coordinator of the Giants. 3rd down, 10 at the 14. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Hostetler throws. Touchdown! Stephen Baker.
And he beats the main man, Nate Odoms.
And that was a perfect throw. After 3 or 4 poorly thrown balls, Jeff Hostetler hits one right where it's supposed to be.
And maybe more importantly, he had time to throw the ball. A breaking pattern to the outside, all the way to the outside, takes a lot of time. Look at the protection he gets. Jumbo Elliott doing a job on Smith. And then right on target is Hostetler to Baker, beating Nate Odoms.
They're going to review it because the umpire has just signaled for a stoppage.
Let's watch the feet closely of Stephen Baker. There's, he's in.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's excellent work by Baker. That's a touchdown all the way.
One clearly down, and he
After
dragged
further review of instant replay, the play stands. Touchdown.
A very quiet night for the replay officials. That's nice.
That's an 87-yard drive for the Giants. Barr tries to put them within 2. Hostetler puts it down, and the difference in the game right now is a safety.
Join us for the second half of this great game after the break.
Buffalo to kick it off. Norwood puts it in the air. It's taken at the 9-yard line by Dave Meggett. And he comes back out to the 25. Carwell Gardner, the rookie, makes the tackle. And the Giants down by 2 begin from there. One other number as Hostetler comes in that you saw on the graphic with the halftime stats. No turnovers for either team. The Giants this year, with only 14 turnovers in the entire regular season, became the first team in the history of the NFL to average less than 1 turnover a game.
Plus 20 on that turnover ratio. That's pretty remarkable.
First and 10 from the 25-yard line. That's Mark Ingram in motion. Fake to Anderson. Hostetler rolls right, gets it away, and it's incomplete. He was looking for a cross.
At the risk of belaboring the point, again we see Cornelius Bennett involved in a rollout by Jeff Hostetler. But again, the rollout was to the right side. They are playing right into the hands of the Buffalo defense, expecting Hostetler to come that way. You see the bump on cross, and then Bennett comes upfield and puts the pressure and forces a bad throw. But Hostetler is going to have to roll left, even if it's into the face of Bruce Smith, just to keep the defense honest.
In the defensive attack, he is a right-handed passer and can, of course, release it much more quickly rolling right.
But every right-handed quarterback still has to be able to roll left.
Second and 10, and this play is dead. Contact before the snap. Jerry Seaman refereeing his last game. He becomes the NFL's supervisor of officials, replacing the retiring Art McNally next season.
False start prior to the snap. Number 61 offense. Still second down.
Bob Cratch.
Cratch, who got a lot of work last week in the 49er game. And relief of Eric Moore over the right side, and one of Bill Parcells' favorites. And could have a long run here with the Giants that guard the 61 Bob Cratch.
Second and 15 at the 20-yard line. Just the start of the third quarter. Bills leading 12-10. Meggett and Anderson in the backfield. Ingram in motion. Rolling left now, dumps it off from Meggett. Out past the 25, tripped up at the 29. Nate Odoms makes the stop. Going to be about 6 yards short of the first.
Good effective screen, though, and it does a couple of things. The Bills have to play it as a pass. They have to continue that all-out rush, and somewhere along the line, things are going to get a little fatigued. And here Bruce Smith again, powering into Jumbo Elliott. He moves him into the inside, and Meggett, with a couple of blockers in front of him, gets it back over to the original line of scrimmage. But it'll be third and long.
Make it 3rd and 8 now because they've respotted back at the 27. That's where his knee initially hit, at the 27-yard line. Hostetler from the shotgun hits Meggett. Meggett breaks the tackle and turns it into a first down.
If you haven't been watching this young man all season long, he's been doing it all year long. Little man, 180 pounds, but so much of that weight in the thighs and in the legs, and he can kick through tackles as he does right here. He breaks the tackle of Clifford Hicks, who tries to come up, spins out of that, number 27, knows where that first down is and gets it.
11-yard pickup. First down at the 37-yard line. They call Meggett's number again. Twists his way out to the 42-yard line, and Ray Bentley makes the tackle there.
These are the things that Al touched on earlier in the game that Rodney Hampton would be doing had he not suffered that broken fibula. And he's unavailable, so Meggett is not only doing double duty, he's in there. Wrigley, not on the specialty team, he's in there where ordinarily a Hampton would be, or an Otis Anderson. Remarkable numbers for this season.
61 touches this year, rushing and receiving, the majority on third down. Pretty much a third down specialist, but again, in the absence of Hampton, the role is expanded. 2nd and 5, and Anderson plows forward before Bentley and Seals push him back. He will be about a yard short of the first down as they'll spot it just outside the 46-yard line.
Dan over here shaking his head. He is remarkable, isn't he? Otis Anderson, 34 years old, and he did that much on his own.
Well, it's just the type of football that exacts a toll from a defensive team. This bruising, punishing style of football. And of course, Otis Anderson at 225, he looks closer to 240 when you see him. He is bigger than he looks, but this is the type of football that wears a team out.
3 tight ends, 3rd and 1. Anderson again. Anderson into Buffalo territory, and Anderson all the way to the 30-yard line. Is he 34 or 24?
He is both, but he doesn't act like it. What a huge hole to the left side. The 3 tight end offense, a tremendous double team by Bavaro and by Howard Cross. And look at Otis Anderson throw the uppercut. Mark Kelso comes in to make the hit. Look at him wind up. I mean, that is a punishing job of running. Who says just because you're an offensive player that you have to take the shot?
Anderson and Carthen in the backfield. That was a 24-yard pickup. It's first down at the 29. Maurice Carthen down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 4. Jeff Wright makes the tackle.
I mean, even that run by Carthen, did you notice where he was first hit by 2 Buffalo defenders, but where he ends up on the ground was a good 2 to 3 yards farther down the field. It doesn't look like much, but I want you to watch. Where's the first contact? He's outside Smith. There's the hit, but watch where Maurice Carthen hits the ground. Another 3 yards. That adds up. That ends up translating into points.
Second and 5 from the 24-yard line. Cross in motion. Meggett. First down. Flag down.
Now Mark Bavaro was the block at the point of attack.
And maybe the holder, too.
He might have been the holder. He's isolated on Cornelius Bennett, the outside linebacker to that side. A lot of pressure on a tight end to have to make that single block.
Number 89 offense, still second down.
I mean, the whole play depends upon one block. There's Bavaro. He gets a little bit to the outside on Bennett. He gets his hands out there. This will give us the definitive look. You can see that left hand. That's going to bring the flag. I mean, he really didn't grab him and pull him to the ground, but that is a legitimate call. An outstanding rushing by the Giants. Over 6 yards per carry tonight.
League average this year was 4.1 per rush. And no team has averaged 6 against Buffalo this season. Hostetler steps up and turns a little something out of nothing as he takes it to the 32-yard line. Wright and Pike in on the tackle, and it's going to be third down and about 13 as the Giants have controlled the ball here at the outset of the third quarter. Typical Giant drive. They've taken close to 6 minutes off the clock already.
And where they are right now, one would not expect that Bill Parcells would let Matt Barr go for the field goal.
No, they would have a 50-yarder from where they are right now. That is
46,
beyond.
47 for Matt, particularly off the grass, because you'll lose just a little bit off that.
3rd and 13 at the 32-yard line. Hostetler throwing. It's caught by Ingram. He has to get to the 19 for a first down, and he does.
Oh.
Every now and then in a football game rather, you can look back to a play and it might set the tone for everything that happens after that. If the Giants win this game, they may look back to this catch and run by Mark Ingram.
You won't say any better, Dan. He turns into a receiver, into a runner, and he knows exactly where the first down yardage is, and he gets it.
We talked to Hostetler the other day and asked him if he felt more comfortable with any one receiver over the others. He said, Ingram, he works harder for me. He did there on 3rd and 13. It's first down at the 18-yard line. Anderson to the 14. It'll be 2nd and 6. Mike Lodish makes the tackle in a skirmish.
Well, Otis reacting to Mark Kelso. The free safety of the Bills coming in and hitting him well after the whistle. Ray Bentley is also there. Both of these guys took a shot at Anderson when he was already on the ground.
This drive started at the 25, and talk about shortening the game. 7:47 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and there is the struggle inside the 15 of the late hit.
Well, Anderson's got a legitimate beef. I mean, he's down on the ground, and Ray Bentley and Kelso both come in and give him a pretty good pop.
2nd and 6 at the 14-yard line. Meggett taken down by Bennett, Cornelius Bennett.
He's such a fine athlete. He reacted, moved off the block, and Meggett, with all of his quickness, could not get away from him.
Well, again, it's Bavaro working on Bennett, but you can't coach this type of athletic ability. You can tell a guy to do something, you can point him in the right direction, but some guys just get there quicker than others. And Cornelius Bennett might get there quicker than any outside linebacker in the game. That is not the product of great coaching.
3rd and a short 4 from inside the 12. 6:49 to go, 3rd quarter, 12-10, Buffalo. Hostetler, a little dump off to Cross. First down at the 3.
There's your roll, Dan, and look what happened. The Buffalo Bills are overplaying Hostetler's bootlegs to the right.
And the big man, Smith, was standing on the line of scrimmage then. No pressure into the backfield.
Yeah, they fear Bruce Smith and rolling away from him into Bennett. I'd start shying away from Bennett and doing exactly this. You see that Bruce Smith didn't get near the pressure on the quarterback that Bennett has been getting when they've been rolling the other direction.
1st and goal at the 3, 13th play of the drive coming up. The Bills have not had the ball in the second half. Anderson to the 1. And remember, the Giants closed the first half with an 87-yard drive. There's the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Buffalo has not had the football. A 9-minute drive.
The kind of drive that makes football coaches just light up with glee or chew their gum even faster than normal. This is a tremendous drive by the New York Giants. This is a championship drive. Look at that, over 9 minutes. This is a Super Bowl drive.
2nd and goal at the 1. Touchdown Anderson.
That is one of the great drives in Super Bowl history. That was physical domination.
Blocked by Carthen, just enough for Anderson. Think back to the 3rd and long of Ingram. He spun and twisted for that first.
9:29, Dan talking about it being one of the greatest drives in Super Bowl history. It was the longest drive in the 25-year history of the Super Bowl.
Welcome back. So a great start to the second half by the Giants. We pick up the action late in the third quarter.
2nd and 1, and that's Kenneth Davis taking it from Kelly, picking up the first down out to the 50-yard line with 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Gary Reasons makes the stop.
Well, the other interesting thing for Buffalo right now is the fact that they've been having their way with everybody lately. I mean, 51 points against the Raiders, 44 against Miami. They lose the last game of the season in a game that means nothing to Washington. I mean, these guys haven't faced any adversity in a while. They're not used to not succeeding.
They also haven't faced the type of linebackers that the Giants have either. Davis, 19-yard gain, and then fumbles the ball out of bounds.
Although I think they'll probably rule that the ball didn't come out until he went down.
And that will end the third quarter. Super Bowl 25, fourth quarter beginning. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf before more than 73,000 at Tampa Stadium. 17-12 Giants. Bills 1st and 10 at the New York 31-yard line. Kelly from the shotgun, flanked by Thomas. Gives to Thomas. And Thurman breaking tackles at the 22, inside the 10, touchdown Buffalo.
Al, you mentioned earlier in the day the name of Thurman Thomas. He got good blocking at the line, broke a tackle, and then got one from Andre Reed downfield. Jim Richer with one at the line of scrimmage. But then Andre Reed made one happen downfield. He knocks down Everson Walls, and
Giants continue to go with that two-down line, too. And the Bills have been pecking. Finally, they get a runner through the linebackers. And a great effort by Thurman Thomas.
He broke through Thompson to get sprung to give Buffalo the lead. Norwood with the extra point. And with 14:52 to play in regulation, Buffalo leads by 2.
Look at it from the end zone. They blow away the two-down lineman, and then Thomas just on his own, bouncing off tacklers into the end zone.
Following that score by the Buffalo Bills, the Giants had another long drive, which ended with this 21-yard field goal by Matt Barr, which gave New York a 1-point lead. The Bills and Giants then punted on their next possessions. We pick up the action with under 3 minutes left, and Buffalo need a field goal to win. They're 90 yards from the Giants' goal line.
again, a reminder, not a turnover in this game.
1st and 10 at the 10. Kelly with the 4 wideouts. He also sends Thomas into the pattern. Steps up to avoid the sack. Takes it out to the 17-yard line. The ball is knocked loose, but the play was whistled dead. Scott Norwood of the Bills, a very accurate kicker through the years, but not a lot of range. And on grass fields in his career, 1 for 5 from 40 yards plus.
What wind there is at his back, is at the back of the Bills. But they're a long way from that coming into play.
2nd down and 2 from the 18. Kelly, the pump fake, steps up and gets tackled by Howard very close to a first. He takes it to the 20-yard line and is a little bit short of the first down. 3rd down, inches. Bills have not converted a 3rd down in the game until now, thanks to Thomas. Thurman Thomas out to the 40, a first down, tackled by Everson Walls.
What a show Thurman Thomas is putting on tonight.
1st and 10 at the 40, 21-yard pickup, 1:22 to go, 1 timeout left for Buffalo. And over the middle, he hits Andre Reed, who was noisy in the first quarter, pretty quiet since. Out to the 45, 2nd and 5. Kelly flanked by Thomas in the backfield. 3 wide receivers.
No pass rush at all. That's unbelievable.
All day and half of the night, and he's going to run with it, and he picks up The first down takes it to the 46, tackled by Banks, 48 seconds.
And Eric Howard wants out of the game.
He was standing up on the line of scrimmage. He was probably hurt as the Giants continue to go with the 2 down linemen.
And Buffalo takes its final timeout. So that's it for the Bills. They are out of timeouts.
Eric Howard doesn't look hurt. He looks like he can't breathe.
When you're only 2 of you in there trying to apply all the pass pressure, it's got to be exhausting over the course of a night. The Giants have gone exclusively with that 2 down lineman pass rush, what there has been of it. And they've tried to compensate by bringing Taylor, bringing Pepper Johnson, and it is just not getting to Kelly.
Well, and you cannot argue, really, Frank, with the effectiveness of Belichick's system because it has worked.
Super Bowl 5, back in 1971, the closest game in Super Bowl history, a 3-point advantage, Jim O'Brien's field goal.
We're guaranteed of eclipsing that unless somebody pops the ball up in the air and returns it for a touchdown.
It is 1st and 10. Buffalo at the 46. Again, Scott Norwood. 0 for 6 in his career from 50-plus. His longest field goal ever, 49 in 1985. His longest this year, 48.
You would have to think that Buffalo's got to be targeting at least the 25-yard line. So they're a good 20 yards away from where they need to be.
From the gun, first down at the 46-yard line. It's a 3-man New York rush. Kelly throws, it's low, but it's caught by McKellar off his shoe tops at the 40. Again, the Bills without a timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Kelly lines up over center, and
well, they're going to look at it.
The umpire steps in to see, of all things, if it's a completed pass. That stops the clock with 29 seconds. Mark Burns is the replay official.
Let's take a look at it. Here comes Taylor on the blitz. There's McKellar, 84. He does a nice job of scooping this ball out. Oh, that's a nice catch.
He's got it.
Nice catch.
He's got it.
You know what? I bet the official saw the ball pop up a little bit, but what it did, it hits McKellar's lower leg and his foot. A fabulous catch. Great look, guys. Great look.
Play will stand. Seaman
After further review of instant replay, we have a completed catch.
Yeah,
2nd down.
He'll wind the clock now as soon as the ball is ready for play.
Easy to be in the instant replay booth when you get a look like that.
But that did give the Giants pass rush a little breather.
2nd down and 5. Here's Thurman Thomas swinging to the outside. Has the first down. Thurman Thomas takes it to the 30. Well, they are in Norwood field goal range. Collins makes the stop. The Bills are going to have to ground the ball to stop the clock at the 29-yard line. Kelly throws it into the ground. 8 seconds.
It'd be 47 yards from right here.
And they have to send him in here. They can't take a chance and run another play.
Norwood is right on the tip of his range.
Well, the Giants know what it's like to live this from the other end. Last week, it's Barr. This week, it's Norwood against them.
Well, we all remember the pictures of Jim O'Brien when he made that field goal jumping up and down.
Parcells wants a timeout to make Norwood think it's going to be a 47-yard field goal attempt. Frank Reich will be the holder when the ball is snapped. Timeout, New York.
You think of that video of O'Brien jumping up and down and celebrating and becoming a hero around the world, and certainly Scott Norwood a chance to step into those shoes.
O'Brien kicked his game winner. It was a 32-yarder with 5 seconds left in Super Bowl 5 to win it for Baltimore over Dallas 16-13.
Now, Kenny Wolf, if you bring up a clip of O'Brien kicking the field goal, I'm going to be impressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
You asked for it. Here's O'Brien, Super Bowl 5, winning it at the end, and now 20 years later, Scott Norwood out of Reich's hold, and we saw this scene last week for the Giants, huddling, some of them refusing to look, just praying. Bars was good. Now Norwood tries to kick his longest ever on grass, 47 yards. 8 seconds left. Adam Lingner will snap it. No good. Wide right.
There are photographers and people all over the field, but the clock still has 4 seconds on it. And Steve Diassi, there's still 4 seconds on the clock. When you keep the ball for over 40 minutes of a ball game, your offensive line did a wonderful job. And has there ever been a man in the position that Jeff Hostetler is in right now? A backup quarterback, a career backup quarterback that comes off the bench and quarterbacks his team to a Super Bowl victory.
Well, this week we've been saying all week that the 25th Silver Anniversary Super Bowl is very, very, very special for many reasons, which we've all discussed, and I can't add anything to that. The Giants set it all out there with their performance today. I want to congratulate Wellington Mara, Tim Mara, George Young, and Bill Parcells for an extraordinary performance this season and today. Congratulations, and you can't do it better than this in the future, I'm sure of that. Congratulations, Bill.
I think collectively we know we can put points on the board. We know that we can control the clock. They did a lot of things to hurt us at first, but we knew if we just keep running the football and keep pounding here and there, that something is going to give.
Jim surprised us a few times, and even with that bum knee, when you got a game like this on the line, guys forget about everything. There's no pain, there's no such thing as exhaustion. You just keep giving it all you've got, and that's the kind of guy Jim Kelly is, and we take our hats off to the entire Bills organization. They're a bunch of winners, and we're looking forward to next season.
I really believe the key to this ball game, the reason that we lost it, was the missed tackles that we had on defense. It allowed them to keep getting first downs and keep us on the field, and in games like this, you can't have that.
We have a taste in our mouth that we know what it takes to get the job done, but we might just have to postpone it for a little bit longer because this year the Giants are the best team in the National Football League. I want to give them credit. They deserve it. They came out, played an excellent game. This is a game that we knew it was going to come down to the last part of it, and that's exactly what happened. Came down to the last field goal.
I went through some thoughts at that moment that I thought were going to help me. I may have emphasized maybe trying to kick the ball a little bit too hard. Maybe a bit more follow through. Would have brought the ball in. I know I hit it strongly, but it's the kind of thing where you don't get a chance to take it the second time.
That a contest of such magnitude should finally come down to a play which loses rather than wins the game is unfortunate. But without lapsing into cliche, players from both these teams will be able to look back in years to come and say that they had the honour of playing in one of the best Super Bowls ever. For Scott Norwood and the Buffalo Bills, that privilege may take a few days or even weeks to sink in. The New York Giants can begin to savour it straight away.
So the New York Giants continue the NFC's dominance of Super Bowls. That concludes our coverage of American football here on Channel 4 for this season. I hope you've enjoyed the programs. So until American Bowl in August, from Gary, myself, and the rest of the crew, good night.
The official Channel 4 American Football Annual 1990-91 is now available, price £11.95. Also available is a guide to American football, price £3.95. Both books are by Ken Thomas and can be bought in most bookshops.
is to show it who's boss. Sit. Don't stand there admiring. Take control. And it's hey-ho for the open. Conscientious little fellow, isn't he? The nippy little rascal naturally shies away from the common herd. And indeed, road hogs. And even after a long, hard run, there's plenty of life in the young pup yet.
Down, boy.
Welcome back, everybody. What a great game we're seeing. Two big plays have happened recently. The first one was Montana getting hit in the end zone, and this is Gary's camera.
It's a scramble. He's trying to get away. You can see hit from the backside, really hit hard. The 49ers do.
Well, that was Gary Imlach's camera in the end zone, the own Channel 4 camera we sent up there. So we got a good shot of Marshall smacking Montana pretty hard, and that's a big play, especially if the Giants now go down and score. Let's go back to the game.
Hostetler, injured but back. This is O.J. Anderson thrown for a loss by Kevin Fagan.
Joe Montana's up, Pat. We see him walking there in the sideline, but he is walking awfully gingerly.
Boy, is he.
And he doesn't look like he's going to walk to get to play. But I'll tell you, that was a big play, that last one by Kevin Fagan. The Giants were moving here. Kevin Fagan, maybe the most underrated player on this team, came up with a big play right there.
That play was out of sync from the beginning, as the motion man got tangled up in the play and Hostetler back to throw it. Scrambles right, throws right, caught and out of bounds. Inside the 30 by Stephen Baker. Darrell Pollard, the nearest 49er defender.
And Pollard is given too much cushion. Watch, he gets there, he's running stride by stride, but he keeps going. In fact, maybe Baker pushed him a little. Pollard was yelling that he was pushed on that play, and they were going side by side. And I was wondering where the cushion came from. Maybe little Stephen Baker pushed Darrell Pollard to cause the cushion.
3rd and 1. He came back a little too far. Timeout, Giants.
Well, they need the perfect play here, Pat, because if they kick it, it would be a 47-yard field goal. That's right in Matt Barr's range, but I think that they would love to get a first down, take some time off the clock here, too.
Those of us and those of you who might have just joined, to summarize what happened, San Francisco first a field goal to take a 3-0 lead, tied by the Giants' Barr from 28 yards away. Then the Giants went ahead 6-3 on a 42-yarder by Barr. 6-6. The 49ers again by Kofor. Then the touchdown from Montana to Taylor. 49ers went ahead 13-9, and then Barr again from 46 yards out. And then Barr again from 38 yards out to make it, as it is now, 13-12 with a minute and 10 seconds remaining. 3rd and short. They go left side, and Anderson lunges for the first down. Matt Millen and Ronnie Lott made the stop, but he got it.
You know, that's going to be a big first down, because not only does it give the Giants some more downs to get closer for Matt Barr to kick the field goal, gives them an opportunity also to score with a touchdown, but it also is going to take some time off the clock that the Giants could almost guarantee that the 49ers don't get the ball back.
And they take a timeout, the Giants. Anderson got the first down. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New York Giants, the 49ers, and the National Football League is prohibited. I'm sorry, it was not a timeout. And now the 49ers take a timeout. George Seifert very upset about something.
This is a 40-second timeout. I think that after the Giants got the first down, they didn't want a timeout. Of course, they want the clock to run. And now once they have the timeout, now the 49ers have to take their timeout.
So they have only one left as a result.
Yeah, I would think the Giants want to save their one for the field goal. You want to be able to stop the clock to kick a field goal if you have to.
Rarely do you see George Seifert that upset.
There will be no charge timeout for either team.
And now he won his argument. No charge timeout for either team.
Yeah, I think that all had to do with the measurement. You know, was it a first down or not? And then they were taking time for the measurement, and they thought it was a timeout.
In the meantime, they sneak some seconds off the clock. Let's see if they rechange that now.
What the coaches are yelling there is bootleg. In other words, watch out for Hostetler faking to the backs going one way and him going the other way.
If they had to kick a field goal right now, it would be 45 yards for Matt Barr. Start that clock. First and 10 at the 49er 27 for the Giants. Hostetler takes a good look. Lot up showing blitz. The handoff is to Anderson. And O.J. to the 25. Stopped by Romanowski. He scrambled for 2 yards. The clock continues to run.
You know what I would do if I were the Giants? I'd take a shot at a pass. The 49er defense is just all up there on the line of scrimmage, Pat. And it just looks like if you're going to, you always have a shot that you can take the thing. But look at this 49er defense. They got all 11 guys right up here, and you could really sneak something deep here, I think. I mean, go a play pass and try and sneak someone deep. Take a shot at the touchdown. If you don't get it, you can always come back at the field goal because the 49ers are just all up there to stop the run.
This is a Giant timeout. They have one left with 12 seconds left to play. The NFC Championship game with the emphasis on championship.
Well, there's the guy who got the fumble that started this drive, but the guy who caused the fumble was Eric Howard, the old nose tackle. You know, those old nose tackles don't get a heck of a lot of talk about, but Eric Howard, if the Giants go on and win here, Eric Howard made the biggest play of his life on that fumble.
And you're right, the Giants are going to run another play. And it's a quarterback sneak by Hostetler to try to get Barr just a little bit closer. A yard more, and now with 4 seconds left, the Giants call their last timeout. And it all goes on his shoulders. He hurt his neck last week making a tackle against the Bears, and there was doubt early in the week whether or not he'd be the kicker or not.
They don't even want to look.
It could be an eternity for Matt Barr if he should miss, and he'd never know he got on the airplane if he makes it. Timeout 49ers. Let him think about it a little bit.
Also lets the coach think about it. Lets the rest of the players. But you notice, Pat, how they always leave the kicker alone? The Giant offense is up there all by themselves on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is about 5 yards back. No one ever gets. These guys are off on the sidelines. The team that is going to block for Barr is on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is off by himself.
That is a lonely world, believe me.
In fact, he's inched up a little closer to him. He was about 10 yards away from him, and now he's kind of inched up where he wants some friends. But Matt Barr's a veteran. You know, I mean, he's a guy, he wrote on a book for me one time. He signed a guest book, and he wrote journeyman kicker, 13-year veteran, so he's been in a lot of these situations.
He also wrote one time, I'm not just a kicker, I'm a player. And the kick is good. There will be no three-peat. The Giants win it 15-13.
Congratulations.
5 field goals by Matt Barr. They still couldn't conquer the red zone, but they beat the 49ers.
You know, and the hero, or one of the heroes, of course, we know is Matt Barr.
These yellow bands are for the troops over there.
And there's his reaction.
If he can force a reaction.
Well, remember last week he got injured. They didn't even know if he'd be eligible to play this week or be able to play this week. There's the coach. Here's one happy, deserving coach. Here's a bunch who had an answer. And it all started with an old nose tackle, number 74, who forced a fumble.
So many, many big plays. Once again, the final score here in San Francisco. The Giants win it 15-13. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show with the George Halas Trophy presentation.
Nick, you come to me as I'm almost knocked over by victorious Giants, streaming off the pitch in jubilation. They can't believe they've won it. Most of the crowd here can't believe they've won it. It's 95% red and white, and they're all dejected. But let me show you these fans over here. This is the small number of New York Giants fans who've made the long trip from east to west. They're jubilant. They're all trying to book tickets for Tampa Bay next week, where they will meet the Buffalo Bills, having beaten the 49ers and having cheated them out of the chance to three-peat. Back to you.
Thanks, Gary. That looks like a heck of a lot of fun. I can promise you, I haven't kicked to win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl, but I've been in that situation, and I promise you, Matt Barr is feeling brilliant, as much from a relief as jubilation. I've also had fans sitting in that end zone where Gary pointed out, unfortunately, we never gave them much to cheer about. We're now going to commercial. When we come back, we'll talk about the game. We'll be going back to the locker rooms, and of course, we will also have the AFC Conference Championship game. So join us in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that game. That was definitely a brilliant football game. Now, Jerry, I've got to point out that when we weren't on air and we were watching the game, you were saying you don't like any kickers, you don't like this, you think kickers shouldn't be in the game. What do you think of kickers now?
Well, if I was really on the 49ers side, I still wouldn't like them.
You'd do what?
I still would not like the kickers.
Especially if you were seafood.
Right.
Well, right now, I mean, we talked about LT. We brought him up and we said he's going to make a big play. First off, he, boom, hits Montana, and that's a big sack. And then there's this, Charles.
Well, what happens here is the nose tackle sticks his head in there and knocks the ball out, and LT is right there to recover it for a big, huge play. You know, we didn't hear much about LT all game long. We mentioned him. He went out there and got forced Montana to pull up, and Leonard Marshall hits him for a sack and a caused fumble. Then we have another fumble there. John Madden alluded to the fact that there weren't any turnovers in the game, and the one that we got, or the one that happened, was a big turnover. Big
Jerry,
play.
we just mentioned the sack, and I'd like to see that again, but then also talk to us, what is it that makes a player great?
Really, I think what makes it, it's a total thing. You can't say one thing, not just talent. You know, we talked about he brings all the chemistry to the party. He's got the inner guts, he's got the soul, he's got the want to, and he's got all that ability. I think one thing that went on, notice there we were talking about, in order for now the Giants to go down and kick the field goal, they went to dash protection. Redskins invented it. Got away from all the rush, sprinted to the right all the time, blocked everybody down, and he made the big throws that set up the field goal.
What is dash protection?
Dash is the quarterback rolling away, getting out of the pocket, running away. It started a long time ago when you had Joe Theismann.
That's right.
And that's really, they went to Joe Theismann protection so the 49ers pass rush couldn't get to him. At the end, the last drive, only time they did it, changed the game.
We now have that footage that we were talking about, and that was the LT play. And I think it's, again, talking about LT, we were saying that he's got a salary of $2 million, and is he worth it? Does this make a player worth it?
Well, I tell you what, you know, you don't get a pass rush, you don't get to the passer like this without being relentless. He had to come all the way from the other side. Joe Montana scrambles out of the pocket, and he still gets to him. You know, he's a relentless player. He's the kind of player that you need to go to the Super Bowl, and he made the two big plays in this game to get him to the Super Bowl.
Well, other than bringing up LT, we also talked about something as the game got going, and that was special teams. And special teams had a big part of it. And Jerry, you love special teams.
I love special teams, but the man right next to me called it. We were sitting there, he says, this will be a fake punt.
Right.
The ball will go somewhere else, and they'll take a chance, and they went to the fullback, number 55, and he went off and made the big play, which changed the game.
They are that kind of a ball club. They always have special plays up for any big game, and we've seen them happen to us time and time out. So I was able to call that because I realized that this was a must situation. They needed to go for it, and the 49ers are caught off guard because they don't pay that much attention to special teams. They don't do enough on special teams to hurt them, but they don't do enough on special teams to help them. They rely on their offense and defense. The Giants have a total package, offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, I've been saying all year that the 49ers were going to lose a game. Now, they've proved me wrong often, but do you think that eventually their lack of running game hurt them today? That's to you, Jerry.
I think the Giants took the clock, and I think more than that is the Giants took their quarterback and put him on the sideline. He had to watch the game. We talked about the 3 tight ends. We talked about, at one time, we looked up, they had 48 plays, and I think San Francisco had 24. I don't know where it ended up, but it's probably in that ratio.
Yeah, so it's now the New York Giants that are going to be going to the Super Bowl. We'll be talking more about that game and who they'll be playing, and we leave you with some jubilant fans that came all the way down from New York. Welcome back, everybody. We now know it will be the Buffalo Bills playing the New York Giants in Super Bowl 25. Now, guys, we're about to show the highlights of that game. If you're at home and you're a fan, what should you be looking out for that the Bills are going to try and do to New York, and what is New York got to look out for next week?
I think the first thing that the Bills did was the no huddle, was the fact they came out, they had an upbeat tempo, and they came and spread the whole formation. There were 4 wide receivers with 1 back, and then they would take the 1 back and set him out of the backfield. That if you didn't have enough DBs, count the defensive backs. There wasn't enough for all the people, so then they set the running back out as a wideout, no backs. They were picking them apart.
Charles, what do you think they should look out for?
Well, I think it's definitely going to be a high-tempo, fast-paced. They won't just go the no-huddle the first series. They'll go the no-huddle the whole entire course of the game to try to tire people like LT and Carl Banks and the defensive line out. Also, the Bills have scored the most points of any NFL team this year, so expect a high-scoring game. The Giants have been able to keep the 49ers into a low-scoring game, but I don't believe it to happen this next week on Super Bowl Sunday.
All right, well, I know it's going to be a great game. And by the way, Jerry was wrong in his predictions of the 49ers game, and he's just now said he thinks the Bills are going to win this game. So now let's go to Rich Stadium in Buffalo. Our match commentators are Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg. And for me, I'd say keep a close eye on Thurman Thomas, as he could be the key against New York at the Super Bowl.
Jeff Jager to kick it off. Al Edwards and Don Smith are deep for Buffalo. The winner goes to Tampa in Super Bowl 25. High, but a kick that is knocked down by the wind. On the run, it's Don Smith. And he is covered well at the 25-yard line. Well, their most valuable player, their leader, despite a gimpy knee, and it's a lot more sore than Kelly has indicated. Wolford, Richard, Hall of Pro Bowler, Davis, and Ballard to protect him. It's Thurman Thomas, great backs in the game. Jamie Mueller, he won't start it. They're going to go with the 3 wideouts, Lofton and Reed with McKellar, and when Mueller is out, the 3rd wide receiver is rookie Al Edwards. Edwards to the right, Lofton and Reed to the left. As they start out in the no-huddle shotgun. And give to Thurman Thomas. And he has a first down to the 37-yard line. Eddie Anderson made the tackle. No huddle, and the Bills come out on the attack. This time, no running back as they use a triple right with Thomas out there and throw to him. Another first down at the Raider 49. 13 more.
They forced the Raiders, Dick, into a basic defense, a 2-deep defense, calling it automatically, and the Bills are getting that ball in play a lot quicker than people expected. They're right up there ready to go. The Raiders can't call anything other than a very basic defense.
Same formation, triple right, and it's Reed now with another first down. 3 plays, 3 first downs, and Buffalo goes from the 25 to the Raider 34.
Jim Kelly calling these plays, he's going to go all out. So often an assistant coach calling them will be much more conservative and plot things out, but Jim just goes after you. And what a difference.
We asked him, is this the biggest game of your life? Are you kidding? He said, by all means. And here's Thomas on the inside handoff. He gets another 5 to the Raider 29. 11 games, including last week against Miami, and they've scored 8 touchdowns in the opening drive, and they seem to be zeroing in on that 7 points early today.
The same defense, each played by the Raiders, so Kelly knows exactly what he's getting.
Over the middle, open is Thomas. First down at the 20. Oh my! Tackled by Robinson.
Tom Benson, it was trying to cover Thomas that time, and he's just not quick enough, especially on this surface. That's not the kind of thing where you get good friction.
Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator, and he's saying what Tom Olivadotti, Miami Dolphins, had to contend with last week. Boy, what a run. They start at the 25. Thomas goes 12. Thomas 13. Pass to Reed for 16. Thomas for 5. Thurman for 9 more. Now they've taken Benson and Robinson out. Oh, Robinson comes back in. So does Ellison. And the throw is to McKellar, the tight end. Keith McKellar for the 11th.
The Raiders stayed in their basic defense even after a timeout. So they must feel very confident. One of the problems would be Ricky Ellison, number 50, who made that stop. Ricky's strictly a run defender, and he's sitting back in there trying to play guys that are much quicker than he is.
Look how quickly Kelly's getting his team set up. 2nd and a yard. Kelly looking for 6. First time he's pressured. Throws complete again. Thomas and a first down. Goal to go at the 6-yard line for Buffalo.
Kelly held his ground. He had a big push all across that front with Davis in particular right down his throat. He held his line until he just was able to drop the ball off at the last second.
Edwards to the left on the tight end side with Lofton and Reed to the right. The give to Thomas. He's toppled at the 3. That's a moral victory for the Raiders, only a 3-yard gain. Bob Golick, the nose tackle and one of the best in the league. This his 11th year from Notre Dame, made the stop. Golick, who had his chances with Cleveland twice to go to the Super Bowl, denied by the Denver Broncos.
Second and goal from the 4.
Second and goal. Kelly on that gimpy knee. Wide open, touchdown, Andre Reed. But a flag is down, and they're going to call it back, holding against the Bills.
Jim Richter, left guard, grabbed Scott Davis at the last second. The referee just could not miss it.
Veteran Jim Tunney, after 31 years as one of the top officials in all of sport, announcing his retirement. This his final game in the black and white of the NFL.
Jim Richter, the left guard right here, at the last second will hold Scott Davis. Now, you see Scott's in pretty good position, shoving back on. There it is, right there. The last second, he feels he has to do it. I think he could have gotten away with just basic protection. Kelly was going to get the ball off anyway.
The first score is nullified. Now 2nd and goal. Oh, a bad snap, and Kelly somehow gets out of the trouble. And throws to Lofton for a touchdown. Yards to the veteran Lofton, one of the great players in the National Football League in his 13 seasons. Never got this far at Green Bay or with the Raiders, but now the veteran Lofton, who gets the big plays, lights up the board with the first 6 for Buffalo.
Greg Townsend lost his contain on Kelly. When he saw the ball on the ground, he went in or after it, and Kelly picked it up and ran right outside where he belonged.
Norwood nails the extra point, and they're happy in Buffalo. They lead 7-0. So the Bills lead in a hurry 7-0 as Jim Kelly dissects one of the best defenses in the league. 6 for 6 on that opening drive, and the touchdown throw to Lofton of 13 yards. Kelly, who throws a party for his teammates after every home game, trying to assure himself that it'll be all smiles and fun about 4 hours from now here in Buffalo.
Well, it was one of those broken plays, and Howie Long saw that ball on the ground, and he went in there for it, and that's just where Kelly happened to run when he picked the ball up.
It comes down to Jamie Holland. And Holland ripped at the 19-yard line by a special teams on the kickoff that is best in the league 4 straight years and allowing the least kickoff return yardage.
This is the kind of thing that just breaks the game wide open. A bad snap. Kelly should be losing the ball in a sense. He's caught, but you see 75 went in there after the ball. Now watch Lofton moving around. He makes 3 different moves. Washington trying to hold him. And all Lofton was trying to do was get open at the last second and be an outlet, and Kelly found him.
Was that a veteran's play at wide receiver? Didn't bother by being held or anything else. He just knew that if something happened, he would be open. Jay Schrader starts at his own 19. Steve Smith and Marcus Allen with him, and he comes out gunning. Lots of time. Down the middle to Fernandez, and a first down at the Raider 45. Not unlike that play of Game 5 of the regular season when Schrader went to Fernandez deep over the middle.
That's what the Raiders like, that 20-yard pattern down the middle, and the linebackers have to get deeper and deeper. Bentley has to get back there. Conlon has to get back there, and they just can't get that deep that quickly enough. And believe me, Schrader showed poise there, because he had to wait on that thing for 5 full seconds.
26 yards from Urban Fernandez, who enjoyed playing in the cold climes of the CFL before coming to Los Angeles, a star in the Canadian League. Play action for Schrader again. And wide open is Galt. And Willie Galt skids out of bounds at the Bills' 30-yard line.
And speaking with Al Davis last night, he said we have to score with these guys. We can't expect to control the ball and keep them off the field. We've got to score. And here's a good look at Willie Galt, straight up the field. Behind all that was a play pass that held the linebackers just long enough for Willie to get a clean release.
Boy, 2 plays, 50 yards for the Raiders. 26 to Fernandez, 24 to Galt.
The Raiders aren't going to be intimidated by that drive. They're going to come out with one of their own.
Schrader to throw again. Deflected as it was aimed for Ethan Horton, broken up by Darryl Talley, the underrated but certainly not underappreciated linebacker of the Bills.
The Raiders had to plan on a way to block Smith. Now you'll see Graves, number 60, with him, doing a pretty darn good job, and then getting picked right up immediately. Beautiful job with Wisniewski. Now that was the plan, to slide that pass retraction toward Smith. But in doing it, Mosbar will be one-on-one with Jeff Wright, the nose guard, all day. The center and the nose guard are one-on-one.
Line up in an eye this time with Smith and Allen. Marcus gets his first carry of the game. Talley can't get him, but slows him down enough that Allen able to make only 5 before Bentley can make the tackle.
Marcus was stopped there, Dick. He was stopped, and somehow he spun off and got going the other way. In fact, the crowd was cheering the tackle, and he still made another 5 yards.
Allen having trouble getting his right shoe back on. Tim Brown is in the game on 3rd and 5. Brown to the right, Galt left, and Fernandez way out to the right. This big crowd standing, cheering that Bills defense on 3rd and 5. And there's the first. Oh, he can't hang on. Mervyn Fernandez, incomplete is the call. The pass was there. Fernandez unable to tuck it away. And so the Raiders will attempt a field goal as Jeff Gossett comes in to hold for Jeff Jaeger.
Well, it was there, and he just didn't handle the ball. But this is going to be a great game, Dick. These teams are really playing well, but they're opening up everything, throwing that ball.
It will be a 41-yard attempt by Jaeger, who is 15 for 20 on the year. Had a 49-yarder into the wind at the Coliseum last week. In the bank. So the Raiders don't get the 7, but like the Bills, are able to score on their opening possession. 9:11 left in the first period. Watch Jaeger as he hits his field goal and loses his footing, yet still has enough power to drive it through for the 41-yard three-pointer. And that could be a factor as it becomes colder and more slippery. This carpet has very little fiber left. It's 9 years old. This is the last game they'll play on it. They'll chop it up and sell it for charity causes or for someone's good benefit.
Doormats, whatever.
And of course, if the Bills should go to the Super Bowl, it'll bring a price. 7-3. 10 points scored in the first 6 minutes of the game. Another short kick. And this one goes to Al Edwards. Edwards through a crowd and out to the 34-yard line. Tackled by Sam Grady.
Dave Adolph had better got the adjustments in hand during that Raider offensive drive. Adolph, the Raider defensive coordinator, had better made adjustments.
It's Thurman Thomas getting Very Little trying to duck through a hole. That's right. They put in the extra defensive back, Jerry Lewis, number 21. It was Eddie Anderson who made that last hit, and a gain of 2.
You know, Dick, they went the entire drive that last time without Lewis. So now he's in there. Lewis, number 21, is the coverage man.
Out of the shotgun, and they go deep for Lofton. He's got it. And out of bounds at the Raider 23.
Now that was against Lionel Washington, supposedly the best coverage man for the Raiders, but Lofton still has the speed. But what a championship effort to go after that ball. That was, you'd almost say, superhuman effort. He knew the stakes, and he was possessed going for that ball.
He was 9 years old when his dad took him to Super Bowl I in the Coliseum. Kelly gets a second chance. Going to run it. And finds shelter on the far sidelines after an 11-yard gain. Robinson chased him out of bounds.
The defensive tackles, Howie Long and Scott Davis, are trying so hard to get to Kelly. They gave him running room between them. So this offense is extremely well executed. Kelly, number 1, a great passer. Thomas, a fine runner. And these guys are caught in between. The minute they really tee off, Thurman, Thomas, or Kelly are going to be running. There it is now. There it goes.
Thomas striking tackles. He has a touchdown.
A basic draw, and Thurman Thomas says this is his play. This is his best play. All 4 Raider defensive linemen were coming up the field. There was a lot of running room, and of course this is one of the very best running backs in football.
2 possessions and 2 impressive quick marches engineered by Kelly, and Thomas with a payoff run of 12. To go in the first quarter, and the Bills already with 14.
Welcome back. The Raiders, on their second possession of the game, were forced to punt. The Bills have the ball at their own 46-yard line.
And there goes Howie Long reacting to some movement. We'll see whether or not big Howard Ballard pulled him offside. Long.
That's the best play the Raiders have had right there. That's 5-yard penalty.
Not sure yet. That's right. No signal yet as to against whom. Long, who is lightning quick off the ball.
Simulated the start of the play. False start. Offense. still first down.
Both 75s. Howard Ballard, he gets the 5-yard call.
They're loaded up with those defensive backs, which means some of them are going to have to make the stops on the runs. And they're not that big a group against a guy like Thomas.
Kelly completed his last 3 passes against Miami, so he's had 10 in a row. Not this time, and almost intercepted. Lionel Washington downfield is pass too high for Thurman Thomas.
Jerry Robinson was trying to cover Thomas, and he wasn't even close. Just a bad throw.
Actually, that was Torn Dorn, 46, closest to the play, but he had slipped.
Now you see number 57 getting out there to try to make the play, and didn't get close.
Still no huddle for the Bills. And there's Andre Reed, the Pro Bowler, out to the 45 of the Raiders, where it'll be 3rd and a long one, 14.
Dick, we talked about it before the game. Everyone knew that Reed crossing the middle or Thomas coming out of the backfield was the key, and the Raiders haven't cut them off at all. They haven't gotten people deep enough to cut those people off.
Well, that great draft in '85 with wide receivers. There's Thurman Thomas burrowing for the first down to the Raider 40-yard line. Long made the tackle. But back to Reed from Kutztown. You had the Al Toones and Jerry Rices and Eddie Browns, and he was around till the 4th round.
Well, you see, the Raiders are all playing standing up. They're playing against the blockers who were standing up, and Thomas went underneath it.
Thomas, one-handed catch. Well, he can do everything. Here's the man that leads the NFL in all-purpose yards last year, again this year, rushing and receiving. What a package he is from Oklahoma State.
Well, we talked about exotic defenses where there are blitzes, designed blitzes. The Raiders have yet to use one. It could very well be that it's because of the no-huddle offense. They can't get the call in and get it orchestrated quickly enough.
Thomas comes out, Kenneth Davis, 23.
Look at the protection, Dick.
Incomplete as Eddie Anderson came up to make the hit.
The Raider defensive linemen are actually slowing down.
And it's Al Edwards who is down. Intended receiver, and Anderson, who is one of the most lethal tacklers in the game, really applied a good pop.
Looks like there was a collision he didn't even see coming.
Edwards being helped off. They are a little short, are the Bills, at the wide receiver position because of the injury earlier this year to Don Beebe. So it's Steve Tasker, the special team star who caught only 2 passes all year. Tasker will come in as the 3rd wide receiver.
Well, listen, the sense gives the Raider defense time to just talk things over, but the strategy is going to have to change. In the first quarter, Dick, they're going to have to start gambling. It sounds ridiculous in a championship game, but in order to get there, they're going to have to gamble. They've got to slow Kelly down or disrupt what he's doing.
Now the 5'9" Tasker from Northwestern goes wide right as they attend to Edwards. With Lofton and Reed left. Reed slotted. Looking for Thomas and finds him. And it's Is that it? Yes, it is intercepted by Gary Lewis. It went right out of the hands of Thomas to Lewis, who was covering him, and the Raiders get a much-needed turnover defensively from Lewis, the rookie from Alcorn State.
It looked as though Thomas had the ball. Now, he's not the primary receiver. You see Kelly looking around and them finding him. Oh, then the ball comes off his hands right to Lewis. Well, the Raiders needed a break, Dick.
And they take over just as Kelly had driven the Bills back into scoring position at the Raider 19.
Looks like Thomas wanted to run with it before he actually caught it.
Lewis, who missed several games this year with a fractured collarbone, gets his first interception of this rookie year, and it comes in a big playoff spot. Marcus Allen eats it for 2. Charging through is Leon Seals, number 96, and Cornelius Bennett.
The 2 outside people just, at that time they brought 6 people right across the line of scrimmage. There was nowhere to go with the ball. And the penetration is there. In the first quarter, the Bills are out hitting the Raiders. They're getting there quicker. They're getting there quicker.
playing as his skills, developed at UCLA, and then for 4 years in the Toronto Blue Jay organization as a catcher.
Well, we get a look at the great Smith right here. He gets inside of Graves. He's done that all year. He'll slant down across the face of the tackle, the guard, and even the center. You'll see him come all the way inside of everybody, and they lose track of it. Now, there was a face mask.
Like there's a face mask in there, too. 3rd down and 6 for the Raiders.
A blitz.
Raider just does get it. Intercepted by Darryl Talley. Talley at the 10. Talley, touchdown, Buffalo. Darryl Talley from West Virginia. He had a touchdown on an interception during the regular year. The #1 tackler on this Bills defense. He said to us one day, he said, I would have been a terrific Raider. Well, the Raiders don't think he's so terrific. It's 20-3 Buffalo.
Schrader didn't even see him. He was right in the way, and Schrader didn't even spot him, just standing there.
The extra point, and it's 21-3 Buffalo on a 27-yard touchdown return by Darryl Talley.
A combination of pressure by Smith right here, combination of pressure coming underneath again. Wisniewski this time. Now you'll see the throw, and Talley will be right in the way of the throw. See him standing right here, and the ball is going to be thrown right to him. So he was zoning off, and Schrader didn't account for him.
Showed pretty good speed. Tim Brown couldn't bring him down from behind.
Now you'll see Talley dropping right to this area and just standing there. Meanwhile, Smith put so much pressure on Schrader he has to move, and there's Talley just in the way. Now I can't tell you why Talley was there. It looked like he had someone to cover who must have been blocking, so he just dropped back and stood there right in the way.
The red, white, and blue of the Bills out to a 21-3 lead with 3:09 left in the first quarter.
Welcome back to the beginning of the second quarter. Following a Raiders punt, the Bills have the ball at their own 43-yard line.
The Raiders have gone to a three-man line, a three-man pass rush.
Thomas right into the arms of Golick, but boy, he's strong at 195, 200 pounds. He wears number 34, Thurman Thomas, because growing up in the Houston area, Thomas' idol was the great Earl Campbell with the Houston Oilers.
Well, Dave Edoff has put his club in a three-man line, basically not concerned so much about rushing the passer, but covering.
Next time again, and that allows Tasker to break open for a catch. A man who had only 2 receptions all year. That'll be close to a first down at the Raider 47.
Nope, no pressure whatsoever. And you've got some excellent people. Now you'll see the three-man line, and they bring Townsend from the outside. No, that's Wallace from the outside. But Kelly, maybe I'll be saying this all day. I don't want to repeat myself. All the protection he needed. Now here's an underneath pattern. Again, Reed, oh no, this is to the outside for Tasker. But all the time he needs.
Hazer just joining us. We're at Rich Stadium, Buffalo. 14 minutes remain in the first half. The Buffalo Bills, very impressively, first 2 possessions, 2 touchdown drives, engineered by Kelly, nearly flawless. And Marv Levy's team then got a touchdown from Darryl Talley on a 27-yard interception return. The Raiders on their first possession drove deep and had to settle for a 41-yard field goal by Jeff Jager. It is 21-3.
Well, Art's being tested today, no question about it. And all the adjustments now are being made by the assistant coaches, the guys that have their specific responsibilities. There's Dave Adolph, and it's in Dave's hands, so to speak. He's the guy that's responsible for calling the defenses and deciding who should be playing and how to strategize.
So he's made 4 basic changes. He first started with just the 1 substitution rule. Then he went to his whole dime package. Now he's going with a 3-man defensive line, and Thomas goes to the 41-yard line on first down, a gain of about 4.
Right, Dick. In the initial drive, no subs. Second time around, one defensive back. Third time around, 2 defensive back. Fourth time around, the 3-man line. But he hasn't blitzed yet. Maybe they just have such a fear of blitzing, and I don't blame them. But they're going to have to do something like that.
Meanwhile, Thurman Thomas shreds away, and it's another Buffalo first down at the 31.
Well, I'm sure the Raiders would much rather play against a team that lines up with 2 tight ends, a close flanker, and hammers at you. But this wide-open style that Marchibrodo's installed is really, they're getting outsmarted.
Thurman Thomas, who had 117 yards last week against Miami, bolts forward for 5 or 6 more. He preceded the Heisman winner Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State. They remain friends. In fact, he said he tried to call Barry this week. He said he normally talks to him, but maybe Barry's upset because I'm in the playoffs and he isn't. You owe him a call, Barry, as you're watching. Here he comes again. Thurman Thomas to the 15, first down Buffalo.
That was a sweep out of the shotgun, in which you'll see the guards pull around the corner with Thomas right in behind him, and the Raiders hadn't seen that particular play.
Thomas now with 71 yards and a touchdown this first half. Give it to the hot back again. Only it's a different back, same position. It's the former Texas Twister Kenneth Davis from TCU, and he gets good yardage, nearly 6. Bob Golick with a tackle. Thurman Thomas getting a breath of air. He doesn't like to come out. Told you that, Bill.
Well, I don't think he's ever handled the ball quite this much.
Davis again. And he does twist all the way to the 6-yard line and very close to a first down. Golick couldn't get him down with the initial hit. Only after 3 yards, 4 yards, Davis brought to this old carpet that will be replaced at the end of this season. Very hard, and as it gets colder, it will be very slippery. So a team with a big early advantage, really.
Oh, sure. And if the weather comes in on us a little bit, that'll eliminate the Raiders. Dick, this club, this Bills club, it just crossed my mind. It's much like the 49ers in '81. They're playing inspired football, just inspired football. Everybody playing above their own abilities. It's
and their abilities aren't bad.
And their abilities, of course, they have some truly great players, but almost a team of destiny. I've heard, of course, the Bears said that a few times through the years, but the team of destiny.
Buffalo, one of 10 NFL teams not to have gone to a Super Bowl game. In fact, they almost went to the first one. They played the American Football League championship game at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. But Johnny Dawson and company, Johnny Robinson, beat them here, and it was the Chiefs who played the Packers Super Bowl I. Paul McGuire, yeah, he averaged 43 yards a punt. As a backup linebacker on that Bills team.
Well, he's got the heft to do it.
Is he still kicking around?
He's a hefty guy. Just look how he could punt now if he tried.
Third and inches. And Thurman Thomas has a first and goal for Buffalo. Greg Townsend made the tackle. First and goal, Buffalo at the 2-yard line. They come up with some heavier backs now as Mueller comes in, the fullback, along with Thomas. They're looking for roll. Kelly will run it in. Does he get there? No. They stop him right on the doorstep as Eddie Anderson and Jerry Robinson made the hit. And Kelly okay, and you could hear the crowd very quiet until they saw Kelly get up.
Well, they wanted him. Those Raiders wanted him here. There's their only chance to get to him. But these Bills fans remind me of the New Orleans fans. They're the best fans in football.
Why is that?
Well, they're the most positive. They're not looking to insult or ridicule you. They're supportive of their team. They appreciate the game of football. It's just a great football community. New Orleans, much the same.
11th play of the drive. Second and goal at the half-yard line.
Second down.
This Raider defense is almost playing like they're
mesmerized.
Mesmerized, yeah.
Thomas and Mueller behind Kelly. He wanted to throw to Fitz Roll on that last one. It's Thomas. He's earned it. The ball. Does he get staggered? No, it's Don Smith in trying to dive over the pile, and the big eyes of Ricky Ellison were focused right on him and drove him back. Might have even been a half-yard loss on the play.
What I just mentioned, the Raiders, this is the kind of football the Raiders want to play. Look at Ricky Ellison over the top. The Raiders want this kind of football. If somebody will play that way, they're pleased.
As Mike Hardner really got the shoulder into him with Ellison following up. So a loss of a half-yard. It's third and goal at the 1. Now Thomas is in with Mueller. Thurman gets the call. He's earned it. Is he in? Not quite. They mark it shy of the goal line. Well, you lead 21-3, Bill. 4th and inches.
Go for it. Get the 7 points. Because that would finish the game off for all intents and purposes. Ted Marchibroda with his game plan right in front of him.
A commanding first half lead for Buffalo, and they're that far from 7 more on 4th and goal.
It looks like they're going to run a tight formation. My feeling would be go right up over the top of the tailback. Right up over the top.
Kenneth Davis is the tailback. Davis, touchdown.
Right in behind Wolford, the left tackle, Richter and Hall, right in behind them, and just splitting the Raiders that time.
And a reminder that those are all brilliant blockers. Hull, third straight Pro Bowl appearance this year. Richter is regarded as perhaps one of their top linemen and has been as an 11-year veteran. And Wolford named this week as the Pro Bowl alternate since Anthony Munoz will be unavailable with that shoulder injury.
Davis didn't even have to jump, Dick. He just ran right through the line of scrimmage.
Norwood for the extra point. Block, and it does not skid through. Got to get the name of the Raider that got in there. That's one of the few bright spots for them that limits the Bills.
Right now,
to 6 instead of 7.
Whoever did that would be the MVP as of this minute.
Here's the touchdown by
Great job
Davis.
of blocking by Richter. He pulled and trapped outside. Beautiful job. Now let's see who got a hold of this, because at this point, it looks
Number
like
70, Scott Davis.
As far as Scott Davis is concerned, right now he's the MVP for the Raiders with that blocked extra point.
Marv Levy, who was a special teams coach for many years under the late George Allen, doesn't like to see that. But he must get consolation quickly by a look at the scoreboard.
That might have been some dramatics on his part, because he has a dominating football team.
Well, that last drive by Buffalo, 12 plays, the last 11 of which were on the ground as they just took it right to the Raiders.
The Bills kept on taking it to the Raiders. Kenneth Davis going in for a second time, increasing their impressive lead to 34-3. We rejoin the game with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
This is the championship game. The winner goes to the Super Bowl, and Buffalo, a near record performance scoring here in a playoff game in the first half. The Washington Redskins scored 38 against the Los Angeles Rams a few years ago for the all-time mark. And Lofton trying to give the Bills the record as he catches it inbounds at the 8-yard line.
There's a flag down. Lionel Washington tried to hold him at the line of scrimmage and just lost track of him. See, Lionel is trying to hold him up rather than run with him. And once James was by Lionel, it was over.
A flag down apparently against the Raiders.
That would have to be defensive holding. So James Lofton can still run. These guys have to understand that.
Defense. Penalty declined.
Lofton, a former Raider, and of course a former Stanford player. I had a chance to coach him for a year at Stanford. A great athlete. But he hasn't lost any speed, or he's lost some, but not a lot. But he's physically strong. You can't hold him up at the line of scrimmage.
First and goal at the 8. Lofton for a touchdown.
Lionel Washington tried the same thing again. Still trying to muscle with James, and he can't do it. It's that simple. He tried to muscle with him right at the line. Take a look here. Try to hold him up. And Lofton's so experienced. He started to the outside and then just pushed Washington past him for an easy touchdown.
James Lofton acquired by Al Davis from Green Bay. Of course, Lofton was a #1 draft pick and could well finish #2, maybe even #1 in reception yardage in NFL career. Norwood hits the extra point. You've just seen a record-scoring first half in National Football League playoff action. 41 for Buffalo. Welcome back to Buffalo, ready for the second half kickoff. We talked about Buffalo. How about the Raiders? The most points in 32 playoff games. They've ever allowed 33. That was in Super Bowl II.
Well, they're playing a dynamite football team that's incensed at their best, inspired, and this is one of the best teams I've seen in recent years. It goes down with the Bears, the Giants, and the 49ers.
We'll talk about the 49ers, what you think about their game with the Giants as this second half progresses. There'll be time for a lot of speculation as the Bills need a little more than to just keep the Raiders in a bit of a check to secure their Super Bowl spot.
Now, Dick, it's Raider pride. Now, they've spoken of their pride, their history, their heritage, and obviously the game's out of reach. Now, how do they play football for 30 minutes just because it's football? The stakes are gone now. It's over now. And so now it's up to the Raiders to play football related to the pride they have as an organization and as a team. And I'm sure Art Shell got that to them at halftime. And Smith is still in the ballgame.
Leading 41-3. Jay Schrader. Ethan Horton out of bounds after a gain of about 8. Nate Odom's on the coverage.
I'm sure Smith wants to be in the game. He's waited all year for a game like this. Oh,
little
trouble.
Scuffle across the way.
Little altercation. That'll happen, I'm sure. Frustrated Raiders are bound to have these kind of things happen. And this hope that the Bills don't flaunt it or taunt the Raiders as this game progresses. But Smith, I'm sure, wants to play. But at some point, someone's going to have the nerve to tell him, you're going to sit it out until next week. They have to have this guy next week. He's got to be 100% healthy.
Schrader run out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Out of bounds at the 40. Don't want to belabor Smith, but he's not moving well, Vic. He's not 100%. I mean, that time he was smoothly blocked by Steve Wright, and he was pushed right past the play. The guy's not 100%, yet he's still in the ballgame.
Well, you remember way back in the early part of the season at Miami when Marv Levy, recognizing defeat to the Dolphins, pulled Smith and some other starters out, and that created that argument with Smith and the coaches. And it was at that point that they had a real getting together of the team and coaches and decided, hey, we've got to start focusing. And they all credit that moment to the start of the success of this season. Schrader will run it again. To the Buffalo 49-yard line. Let's go back to Bruce Smith and what's going on.
Smith's going to be confronted by Steve Wright, the right tackle, coming up the field, and Steve just in good position. You see Smith just Steve's trying to take it out on him, but Bruce just isn't himself right this minute, and he's not going to get better.
That's the start of the second half. Buffalo with a record-setting point production in the first half for a first half of any playoff game in NFL history, 41-3. Marcus Allen, who had only 10 yards rushing the entire first half, while his counterpart with the Bills, Thurman Thomas, racked up 109. Seals and Smith in on that tackle.
It's really the test, the character of a football team, to be out of a game, totally out of a game, and still continuing to play with real intensity.
Kirby Jackson and Tim Brown.
Looks like Jackson's trying to explain himself more than confront Brown.
First down at the Bills 44. Blitz from Jackson, and he gets him. Kirby Jackson on a corner blitz.
Well, they'd brought him before, and he hadn't quite got there. This time, Schrader had a pass developing well down the field, so Schrader was going to take time to get there. You're going to see 47 coming on the left of the screen. No one there to block him, naturally. And Schrader wasn't looking to that side, and so he just didn't see him coming.
Well, and occupying two blockers to stop Bruce Smith, that really gives Jackson an open avenue, doesn't it? Screen to Allen up the middle. He has some moves. Allen finally ducks out of bounds at the 35-yard line, close to a first down. Nate Odom's closest Bill.
At this point, the Raiders are playing good, solid football and attempting to execute and move the ball. Obviously, the game's out of reach, but they're playing football, and that's the character of the ball club.
Schrader almost casual in setting up on 3rd and 2. And Allen gets the first down straight ahead to the 32-yard line.
where Conlon and Seals wrap him up. Are you shocked? You heard Will McDonough say at halftime that he called this the greatest offensive performance in the first half that he can ever remember. Would you put it in that category?
Well, you'd have to say that because everything has worked. Their running game, their passing game, their spontaneous plays, everything has worked.
Raiders got their only points of field goal on their first possession. Schrader on top, has a man. Fernandez intercepted. Mark Kelso ducks in front, and Kelso from William and Mary picks it off.
Kelso coming back from a broken leg.
Suffered against the Raiders in their game 5 of the season. He's a ball hawk, took it right away from Fernandez. Oh, the mighty Bills continue.
Welcome back. The Bills had to punt on their next possession, but it wasn't long before the Raiders gave them the ball back again. Jay Schrader intercepted for the 4th time. We join the Bills on their next drive. It's from their own 21-yard line.
Kelly's still in there, throwing some more, and he gets it to Keith McKellar, tight end, who was a project by the Bills, who really has blossomed. He was a Jacksonville State of Alabama basketball player, played only 1 year of college football. They've been patient with him, and now in his 3rd season, Jim Kelly says, you know, he's just another one of my real threats. He says, I used to have Thomas, then I had Reed and Thomas, then I had Reed, Thomas, and Lofton. Now I got Reed, Thomas, Lofton, and McKellar. And as the Raiders have found out, and the Miami Dolphins did, whom do you not defend?
He's a super athlete, a real athlete, and still learning. He'll be better next year, and the next year, and the next year.
Thomas, and he gets out to about the 39-yard line.
Well, we see the Bills huddling up now, taking more time off the clock.
Oh, what a terrible way to end a season. Schrader, who had a great start, then he had that November slump where he didn't throw a touchdown, then he rallied his team, had 11 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions the last 5 games of the regular season, and then you finish your year and have a disastrous day like this.
Well, I'm sure in the fact he just wants to get out on the field again and erase whatever he can of this performance. Hit one or 2 passes, something.
See, it's very pleasant today. Schrader's perspiring. Temperature still around 32. Like the snow of rain occasionally. Jamie Mueller, who played his college ball in Atchison, Kansas at Benedictine College, was a 3rd-round pick back in '87.
When they play a 2-back offense, Mueller is an excellent combination with Thomas because Mueller serves the same purpose that Steve Smith of the Raiders does. Excellent blocker, a good receiver if the occasion arises, but a good solid blocker. On the other hand, the Bills are doing fine with a 3-receiver offense, and that's what I think you'll see next week.
Using the huddle and using the clock. 3rd down 3. McKellar again. He can motor, and he's down to the 36-yard line of Los Angeles. Jerry Robinson tagged him.
Jerry Robinson trying to cover him and at the same time play against the run. And no question, Jerry's lost a step. And McKellar, a younger, quicker man, just outruns him crossing the field.
Well, these Bills, as you know, in the regular season late, were impressive in a 17-13 win against the Giants at the Meadowlands. That was the game in which Kelly was hurt and Phil Simms of the Giants. So they've shown that they can beat the Giants in the Giants' home field. One would wonder, should the 49ers win later, how the Bills would match up. And we'll quiz my partner Bill Walsh about that. Herman Thomas. Boy, did he get out of the blocks like he wanted that play. He has a first down at the 21.
We were talking about Jamie Mueller. What a beautiful block he made to Spring Thomas. He just at the proper time, he made a beautiful block on the strong safety and sprung him. That's the combination you want. Look at Mueller, number 41, coming to the going inside out. Great job. Destroyed Mike Harden. And that's not an easy block because it's made with a lot of space around both people.
And the hand in the background for Thomas, who comes out, has 138 yards today and a touchdown at 117 against Miami. You can almost write in the 100-yard days for this guy. He had almost 1,300 rushing during the regular season. Davis.
Ooh. Mueller again.
Oh, did he level
Lionel Washington
the corner.
was decked.
Mueller just destroyed Washington on the corner.
It reminds me of Tom Rathman of the 49ers, very much so. Look at Washington knows he's in trouble. Gee. And Washington really couldn't do much about it. He had to hold his ground.
So Mueller getting a chance to play. And one of the notes under his name, as you look to peruse through all the comments about the Bills players, Mueller, in just one-word sentence, blocks. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Second down, short 6. Mueller gets a chance to carry. He said, hey, I'd rather block, but no one could tackle me. Finally, the fourth man, Terry McDaniel, Eddie Anderson gets him to the turf. A loss of a yard.
That's you need the kind of guys you need the kind of guys that will block, and you'll hear a little sound involved with it. This is being right on the scene.
Well, the sound was from the crowd reacting to that block. Third down, clock running, and Kelly really consuming some time now. With just 19 seconds left in this third quarter. 3rd and 8. Lofton again. Down at the 1-yard line. They're not going to give him the hat trick. That would have been number 3. Lofton disappointed. Oh, he's had a touchdown catch in every playoff game. This is his 5th. Had a couple with Green Bay. End of the quarter.
Eligible.
Jim Kelly stays in. This is the first play of the final quarter, and that much to the relief of the Los Angeles Raiders. As Kelly, it's a matter of to whom do they want to give a score? Well, Kenneth Davis has another. Easily. So Davis, who scored 4 touchdowns rushing on the entire season, has 3 today. So Lofton sets up the hat trick, and it's Davis who puts on the fedora. Norwood makes it 48-3 Buffalo.
And this field goal completed the scoring on the day, 51-3. The Buffalo Bills win it and the LA Raiders had a very long trip home.
Many times about the relationship between a quarterback and his coach and how intimate that is, how important it is. Look at Kelly as the setup man. Hey, coach, now I just want to talk to you about something. If you notice how how this game is developed, maybe look out over here, coach. Yeah, there it is over there. Now, now wait over here. Wait over there. That's it, right there. Then he holds him. What a guy. What a guy. Coach and quarterback. It works every time. Well, this is the time to enjoy it all.
Isn't that the truth? This is the time to enjoy it all, and that might be the only time in life when it's nice in freezing cold conditions to get some cold Gatorade dumped on your head. So Jim Kelly excited, and everyone in Buffalo excited. Cornelius Bennett can't believe it. The crowd can't believe it, and they're on their way down to Tampa for Super Bowl 25. So, Jerry, how good are the Bills, and what about this game? 51-3 against the Raiders.
That was a real shock. I think probably in the Super Bowl, two things. You have teams that have artificial turf at home, Buffalo and the Giants, and they're playing on grass. I don't think that happens too often, that the artificial turf teams end up playing in a big game.
Charles, what do you think about the Buffalo Bills today?
I think they're a great ball club. I think they showed it all season long. They showed they can win the big one, and it should be a great matchup next week.
All right. Well, before we finish the program, we talk a little bit about predictions from these two chaps. We're now going to go back to Candlestick Park, and Gary's gone from the sidelines to the locker room.
Dave, you've already been there once with Chicago. You're going again. How does this one feel?
This is special. The entire year we've had one goal, and with the group of guys we have, this entire year it's just been it's been almost Cinderella based on the players and the talent we've got. We expected to win, and get to the Super Bowl, but you still have to go through the hard work and the perseverance, and we kept our focus, and I think that's the main reason we were able to obtain the victory.
Now, anytime you go to the Super Bowl, you don't need anything to make it extra special. But does it feel even sweeter, given that you've come into the home of the 49ers, you've beaten them on their own home ground, and you've done it with a backup quarterback?
Well, I tell you what, Jeff Hostetler is no backup quarterback. We've felt all along like we had a couple of starters, and he played some great football for us. When he came back from the injury early in the game, we knew things were going to start to go our way. But yeah, certainly it's sweet to win in the 49ers' backyard, but regardless of where the game was played, we had one mission, and that was to get to Tampa, and now we got to win this thing. And the great thing about it, now we've got an intrastate rivalry between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants. I don't know which way the governor's going to be pulling, but he has nobody to bet against.
Our American colleagues then had a chance to talk to the hero of the day.
Let me ask you first, Mr. Barr, about the kick and whether or not you had any doubts as you approached it.
It was a good kick, but I'll tell you what, this victory is for the guys. They worked so hard through training camp. They overcame so many obstacles. I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
I want to ask you about this field goal. Winds really weren't much of a factor down the field today, were they?
It was making them drift a little bit, but you can't ask for a nicer day in San Francisco. Usually it's really blowing hard.
And then Bill Parcells took the George Halas Trophy for his players. And I know that he is hoping to be lifting another trophy in a week's time. Jerry, it's the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Giants. So I'd like a prediction from you and really an idea of how you see the game developing.
That'll be the last trophy that he lifts. He won't have a chance at the other one. The Buffalo Bills will beat him, and they'll beat him being wide open and throwing the football and running the no-huddle offense. And the bottom line is the Giants can't score. There's no offense, and you can't continue to win without putting points up sooner or later. Buffalo will get some points with a great back, a good quarterback, with a no-huddle, and the Giants, their victories are over. That's the last win they'll have for this year.
Well, Charles, I don't want you to straddle the fence like Jerry has. I want a real prediction.
He straddled the fence? Wow. I believe also that the Bills will win. I think, Dave Durson talked about a Cinderella season. I think it's been a Cinderella season for the Buffalo Bills, and you can't end it on a losing note, and I don't think they will.
All right, well, I'm also going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
I hate to agree with you. Can we switch that?
But guys, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks for having us, buddy.
Thank you, Charles.
Sure.
And that concludes our coverage of the championship games. Our next program is our final Red 42 of the year, which you can see at 5:30 Friday night or 12:30 Saturday lunchtime. Then next Sunday night, starting at 10:50, we have our grand finale of the season, the New York Giants against the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 25. And Dan Marino will be one of my guests. If you haven't already done so, invite a football novice to join you, as it promises to be the best Super Bowl we've seen in years, and it will be nice to have some rookies for next year's coverage of American football here on Channel 4. For those of you under parental guidance, or work the next day, or that just couldn't keep their eyes open, we will have a highlight program of the Super Bowl next Monday night from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Now tonight we leave you with some memories of the season and a list of the folks that have knocked themselves out to bring you all the games. So until next time, from Jerry, Charles, Gary, myself, and all the crew, good night. Thanks, guys.